We are going to explore the origins of the conflict between Israel and Iran. First, we will look in the Bible to understand what it tells us. If we don't find the answer there, we will read other books to learn more. Please subscribe so you can continue receiving discussions like this. If you do, may God bless you. Let's get started. As an analyst, I would look at the situation in a balanced and careful way. 1. War decisions are usually strategic. In conflicts between countries like Israel and Iran, military actions are often aimed at weakening the opponent's capabilities, for example, energy, military, or economic infrastructure. From a military perspective, these targets are sometimes considered strategic. 2. But the humanitarian impact is serious. Even if a target is considered strategic, damage to energy infrastructure can affect ordinary people. Oil facilities, electricity systems, or pipelines often support jobs, transportation, electricity, local economies. When they are damaged, civilians may face health risks, pollution, and economic hardship. 3. International law tries to limit this. International humanitarian law, supported by organizations like the United Nations, says attacks should avoid harming civilians and essential civilian infrastructure as much as possible. When infrastructure that civilians depend on is damaged, it often leads to international criticism or investigation. 4. The bigger picture. As an analyst, the main concern is that attacks on critical infrastructure can increase escalation. When one side strikes an important facility, the other side may retaliate and the conflict can grow larger. My general conclusion: strategically, countries may see infrastructure as a way to pressure their opponent, but from a humanitarian and if Russia and North Korea directly joined a war to help Iran against the United States and Israel, the situation would become much more dangerous for the whole world. Let me explain it clearly. 1. The conflict could expand beyond the Middle East right now. Most tensions are mainly between Iran and Israel, but if Russia or North Korea joined militarily, the war could spread outside the Middle East. More countries might get involved. Global alliances could form on different sides. That kind of situation is what analysts sometimes fear could escalate into a large international war. 2. Russia's involvement would change the balance. Russia has a powerful military and nuclear weapons. If it entered the war, it could provide advanced missiles or air defense, intelligence and military technology, diplomatic protection at the United Nations. However, analysts say Russia has not committed to defending Iran militarily, even though they cooperate politically. 3. North Korea's role would likely be weapons support. North Korea has strong missile technology and military production. It could supply missiles or artillery, share weapons technology, give military training. North Korea has already had cooperation with Iran in missile development in the past. 4. The United States' response would be very strong if Russia or North Korea joined the war directly. The United States would likely increase military forces. Its allies, such as NATO partners, might also become involved. The conflict could become global rather than regional. 5. But analysts say this is unlikely right now. Even though Russia and North Korea sometimes support Iran politically, they have not rushed to fight directly. Their cooperation is more strategic and opportunistic, not a formal military. Simple explanation: if Russia and North Korea entered the war to help Iran, it could make the conflict much bigger and more dangerous, possibly involving many powerful countries. But for now, most experts think these countries prefer indirect support rather than direct war. Between Iran and the United States, which side actually has the stronger military power? In terms of overall military power, the United States is much stronger than Iran, but the situation is more complex than just numbers. Let's look at the main differences. 1. Military budget, money for the army. United States about $800–900 billion per year. Iran about $10 to $20 billion per year. That means the US spends tens of times more on its military than Iran. 2. Soldiers and manpower. United States about 1.3 million active soldiers and about 800,000 reserves. Iran about 610,000 active soldiers and around 350,000 reserves. Both have large armies, but the US still has more total personnel. 3. Air power, airplanes and helicopters. This is where the difference is huge. United States 13,000 plus military aircraft. Iran around 600 aircraft. The US also has advanced stealth jets like the F-35 Lightning II. 4. Naval power, Navy. United States 11 plus aircraft carriers and a very large navy. Iran no aircraft carriers, and a smaller Navy aircraft carriers allow the U.S. to project power anywhere in the world. 5. Nuclear weapons. United States, about 5,000 plus nuclear warheads. Iran, no confirmed nuclear weapons. This is one of the biggest strategic differences. Simple conclusion. The United States has the strongest military in the world. Iran is still a strong regional military power, especially in the Middle East. Iran's strategy focuses more on missiles, drones, regional allies defending its territory. Important point. Even if one country is stronger, wars are unpredictable. Geography, allies, and strategy can make conflicts much more complicated. If the United States is stronger, why has it never directly invaded Iran? It's an interesting question, and the answer is mostly about strategy, geography, and consequences, not just military strength. 1. Geography favors Iran in defense. Iran is a large country with mountains, deserts, and difficult terrain. This makes it hard for any foreign army to invade and control the country quickly. Analysts call this defensive depth. Any invading force would have to cross long distances. Cities and mountains provide natural strongholds for defense. Urban warfare could be very costly for attackers. 2. Regional alliances and proxies. Iran has strong alliances in the Middle East through groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, Shia militias in Iraq and Syria. These groups make a direct invasion risky because a foreign army could face attacks far from Iran itself. 3. Cost and international reaction. A U.S. invasion of Iran would likely be extremely costly. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers could be needed. Civilian casualties could trigger global condemnation. The oil markets could be disrupted, affecting the world economy. Countries like Russia, China, and others might respond politically or militarily. Because of this, even a superpower like the United States avoids full-scale invasion unless it sees no other option. 4. Focus on indirect pressure. Instead of invading, the U.S. uses other strategies: sanctions to hurt the economy, targeted strikes against specific military sites, support for regional allies to counter Iran's influence, diplomatic pressure in international organizations. This strategy allows the U.S. to limit Iran's capabilities without the massive cost of an invasion. Simple conclusion: even though the U.S. is militarily stronger, invading Iran directly would be extremely risky and costly. Geography, alliances, and political consequences make indirect pressure a much safer strategy. Alright, here's a clear explanation of how Iran uses missiles and drones to make invasion very difficult. 1. Missile program. Iran has developed a large stockpile of short, medium, and long-range missiles. These can target military bases across the region, hit naval vessels in the Persian Gulf, reach key infrastructure in neighboring countries if necessary. This makes any invading force vulnerable even before reaching Iranian soil. 2. Drones, unmanned aerial vehicles. Iran also has many drones that can gather intelligence without risking soldiers, attack specific targets with precision, act as a cheap force multiplier compared to traditional planes. This allows Iran to strike quickly and unpredictably, increasing the cost of war for any attacker. 3. Asymmetric defense strategy. Because Iran cannot match the U.S. in conventional forces like aircraft carriers or stealth jets, it focuses on asymmetric warfare, using missiles, drones, and small fast boats to threaten naval forces, using regional allies to complicate a potential invasion, using geography, mountains, deserts to slow down any invading army. Do not lose hope. God sees your suffering and remembers those who are oppressed. Stand strong, protect what is right, and trust that justice and peace will come. Even in the darkest moments, you are not alone. Here are a few verses that encourage those who are suffering. 1. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. 2. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. 3. Psalm 9:9. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. These verses remind us that even when injustice, fear, and suffering surround us, God's love and justice are constant. Encouragement: be brave but wise. Support one another and protect the innocent. Even small acts of courage and kindness matter. Remember, you are not forgotten. Your struggle matters, and those who suffer will be remembered and strengthened. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that our conversations have helped you and allowed you to understand many things you didn't know. May peace and blessings be with you, and continue to have curiosity to learn and understand the world and its history. You are a brave person because of your thirst for knowledge. Don't give up.